All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm going to get right into the stock market technical analysis. I've been out for the last couple days, so today really just trying to get a read on the markets, kind of gauge my bearings, figure out where the opportunities lie here in the future. So we're going to just get right into the charts. Again, we're looking for trade opportunities using the charts and using technical analysis. So I'll start out today with tech, triple Qs. Let's go to the daily chart. I want to kind of work my way down to the smaller time frames just so we can get a good read on kind of where we're at. It's always important, especially after not looking at the charts, at least in super clear detail for the last few days, to really just kind of, start from the larger time frames and work your way down. Daily chart. All right, we have a clear downtrend line that has been broken. Okay, this is your bear market downtrend line. That trend had been broken right here. Okay, we did create this bullish falling wedge pattern. The major target on that bullish falling wedge pattern, when you kind of work it out, really put us to a target of about 303-ish, and we did hit that. So again, I had been talking about kind of one more rally, especially in the private member group. I told everyone I was expecting kind of one more rally, and we did get that. There's that rally. Now we hit that target and sold off from there. In the short term, I don't have a good read. Let's knock it down to the hourly and we'll kind of figure out what's going on. There's some support. It's right about 298, 297.50 or so. It seems to be kind of resistance right now. You can see they're kind of knocking on that right there. And we closed basically right at it. So again, I can't say for sure if we're going to rally. If I narrow it down to the 5-minute, if I look at that, I do have some bullish divergence. You can see here we're kind of, let me grab the right tool. You can see that we have some bullish divergence that's been building on this 5-minute chart. Very, very short time frame stuff. And then you have this downtrend line that I kind of marked out. This has been resistance, several reactions on that. And we closed the day kind of breaking out, all right? Breaking out above that on the 5-minute. So yeah, I think that, maybe we have another rally up to 303-ish. I don't really know. Again, very short time frame, so this is usually very quick stuff. But perhaps they're going to rally it up again. Okay, so that is really all I see. Obviously, on this hourly, we had this bullish divergence, and then on the daily, we also had some bullish divergence here on the daily, way back here that we've been building for a while. So is there another leg up in triple Qs? Possibly. Okay, I can't confirm. I don't have a high level of confidence whether we're going to get that. Maybe if we break above 302.50-ish, start to break out, then yeah, I think we're going to go in and put in a new high above the former high, which is about that 313, 314, somewhere right in there. So I think that would be very likely if we start to break out. And really, it's a breakout above 303-ish. Should set us up for a move for kind of putting in a new high above that most recent high. All right. And then from there, we'll see, because you can clearly see on the daily chart, the momentum has really dropped off. It definitely has reset this momentum indicator. So if it rallies and it does it, relatively soon, it will be a divergent high on the daily chart. And at that point, we'll have negative divergence on the daily, which means we'll probably be set up for a kind of a trending short trade. We'll probably top out on that divergent high and then start to roll over for a larger swing trade to the downside. But that's, a lot of that's conditional on things that have not happened yet. So, all right, that's that on triple Qs. SPY. We'll look here on the SPY. On the SPY, again, there's your daily, there's your downtrend line, there's your clear breakout. All right, we back tested for a couple days. Pretty nice little impulsive pop off of that for sure. Ran up. There was some resistance about 407-ish, and we got rejected. We're kind of in a chop zone, to be honest. With this big trend line here and with the breakout, this is a battleground right now. You've got bulls and bears fighting it out at this level, looking for the next, swing trade, major direction. And that's it. We're not going to likely just have a definitive rally or break, at least not initially. So from my perspective, you break above this potential trend line right here on the daily, which is about 407-ish. You break, you're probably going to put in new highs. You break down below this support line, which is about 392, and the 200-day moving average, simple moving average, it's bearish. And anything in between, to me, just looks like a big chop zone. So kind of tricky to trade, and that's why I don't have like a very clear direction. And in the end of the day, especially today, we're just kind of in the middle of that range. So I don't usually take positions in the middle of ranges, and in general, don't have a clear read on where we head next. Now we start approaching some of these levels, start taking out some of these levels, I'll get a better read on it. Gold, here's gold futures. Okay, so I'm still buying the dip in gold. I want to kind of point out a couple things. We're looking at the gold futures here. Good support, again, is really right about here at about 1810. Okay, I've got crazy green lines all over the place, but I was highlighting a lot of reactions at that level in the past. So should be very good support. Again, we had another one here, and we're back down at the level. Now, so I could see a little more downside. Again, even just a little intraday whip below and then maybe a recovery, something like that. If we do it, I don't see much more downside, but if we do that, we will likely have some bullish divergence on the daily chart. Okay, you can see we actually do have some bullish divergence just starting to show up right here where this low in price has a little bit higher momentum. So I think this could build for a while. Nothing says it's going to just continue. Nothing says we're going to just ramp here. Maybe we build on this divergence for a little while, but I think there's relatively limited downside. And again, it's just coming in for a back test basically of that support line. So I still like it until that changes. I think it's still by the dip. Let's look at the miners GDX. Again, you can see we basically made a new low right here on the daily chart. Here's your former low right in here, and you kind of made an equal or slightly lower low, and yet momentum is, showing bullish. Now, again, this can change. Nothing says that, maybe we continue to sell off and we don't have bullish divergence, but we do have it as of now. So that's it, Now, if it changes, again, an analysis is conditional. If something changes, if the conditions change, then our analysis needs to change as well. But we have it right now. If I flip down to the hourly, you can see, it's definitely there on the daily, and here it is, slightly there on the PPO, just kind of an equal high. And the RSI is really made like an equal low. If I go like this, you can see it's just, it's a slightly lower low, but it's close enough where we can basically say it's kind of an equal low. So, I'm not 100% confident about the trade, but I still like it. I still think it's probably a buying opportunity, especially the fact that we have the divergence on the daily. Might need to build a bottom. Maybe we've got a little kind of choppy action where it's going to pop up and make a new low and kind of put in a bottom. All right, so I could see that as a possibility. And the dollar, this is the DXY, which is kind of a dollar-euro pair, basically. A little work to do here. We do have some negative divergence just starting to show up here on the RSI. Nothing really that's that clean on the PPO. Making a new high right here. Divergent high on the RSI, not on the PPO. So again, maybe a little work to do, maybe pop up, kind of build on these divergences, I think is likely before maybe a reversal. So little work to do there. Okay, some of these trades that are, still working. I am short this one, MRK, Merck. Again, resistance is about right here at 110. They're putting in a top as far as I can tell. So here's what I've got. Daily chart, negative divergence, nice and clean negative divergence. All right, we've basically had an uptrend here, broke trend, nice clean sell signal, and hit our first level of support about 102.73, popped into resistance, failed, popped into resistance, failed, popped into resistance just for a day or two. Today, nice solid rejection as well. So continuing to get rejected about 110-ish. Slight pops above, running a bunch of stops as they pop above. But at the end of the day, this to me looks like a topping pattern. And I think the top is in for this one. So I think we're probably heading lower. relatively soon. So I like it. At the end of the day, still targeting 95. The 200-day will probably come down and hit that, get a reaction there. I don't know where that'll fall, but potentially there at 98. Looks like we've got some reactions from the past right there, about 98, and the 200's right at 98 as well. So yeah, that would probably be a reaction level as well. Here's another one, LLY. Again, just continuing to trend lower. You have an uptrend line on the daily chart, negative divergence, broke trend, back test, and just rolling over, going down in waves. So I see no change there. No indication that trend is reversing, and I think we continue to head lower. So 375 looks to be a support level. We got another level here about 284. 284 is pretty decent support right in there. So those are the levels I'm watching on that one. All right, let's take a look at wheat. So this is the wheat ETN. It really tries to track the futures, but at the end of the day, that is what it is, attempting to do, is the futures. So we really want to use the futures as the best guide, and that is what I do. But here's wheat ETN. At the end of the day, here you've got a trend to watch. There's a reaction. We broke out and we're back testing. Now, yes, we are below that trend, just barely. And I think it's close enough where we can consider that a back test as well. Doesn't look like an impulsive breakdown. Really looks like we're just running stops. The low that we're making now is a divergent low as of now. That has not changed. You can see that we basically still have kind of higher momentum and divergent low, all right, as we backtest trendline support. If I look at ZW, that's the wheat futures, kind of a cleaner look, but you can see here it was resistance through here. Okay, we broke out, back testing, and we're still in the area. We're kind of chopping around. Again, this to me looks like stop action, stop rating, kind of washing out any of the longs and everything. I still like it in this area as support. We have bullish divergence. This is a divergent low here, and I think that we will very likely get a nice rally off at or near the level. I think the downside is limited. Nothing's guaranteeing that, but I think it's limited, and I would expect a bounce sometime soon to help rally. And then it should be off to the races. We really should start to rally pretty strong from there. Obviously not straight up, but that's what I'm looking at there. JP Morgan talked to the private group this morning. It was at support on this one and pretty much closed at support, slightly below, but that's not impulsive enough for me to consider it a breakdown. The support level I have is about 138. You could probably redraw it and maybe drift it lower, something like down here. It's in the area, and in general, that's not a breakdown. It's not impulsive enough. So we're going to say that's at support, and until we see either a gap down or some sort of definitive break, we could bounce here. Now, I do favor a breakdown. The negative divergence that's been building on the daily chart indicates to me that a breakdown is coming, but until I see that, I don't have a sell signal to confirm that this trading range and the support level is broken and we're heading down to the next one. So that what I'm looking for is a breakdown, and then we should head down to about 129. I like 129 as a decent level of support. Okay, Walmart. You can see Walmart on the daily chart here, closing pretty much at support. Several reactions really at this level. Even if I roll it out, you can see this gap down basically. We had a reaction there. So you can see gap up. All right, there's resistance, support. They stepped in a little early there, and closing basically at support. So Walmart closed at support. Divergences are, you could say it's got some divergence. If I go down to the hourly, divergent low right here, it looks like on the hourly. So yeah, I think Walmart's probably going to have a little bounce here. All right, so nothing really, no divergence there on the RSI though. So I don't know. In general, I'm not looking to probably go long this. I'd probably be more interested in looking for a definitive break. But again, it's just, this is support, so it should rally here from what I can tell. Here's a trade idea, new trade setup, URI. So URI, On the daily chart, we have negative divergence. It's been building for a little while now on both momentum indicators. We have a nice uptrend line to watch. All right, there's support through here, support, and we're looking for a sell signal or a break of trend. I don't have one, but if we get one relatively soon, I think you watch. It just depends on when we're going to actually break. But here's some of the support levels I have right now. You've got this gap right here, about 415.88. You've got obviously gap fill, little gap right there. Probably get a minor reaction. Looks like decent support about 368.92. Pretty good support there at 368.92. So those are kind of some levels that I have. Again, no sell signal, so no reason to short it. Just something to keep an eye on, waiting for that sell signal to come. Riot Blockchain. So this is a Bitcoin stock, and again, not usually my thing that I like to trade, but I was just kind of scanning around looking for different setups. This one has negative divergence on the on the daily chart. You can see here momentum is starting to drop off on the daily, and we keep kind of spiking, making these new highs. That's a divergent high. That one wasn't quite there, but that was your last divergent high. No real sell signal. Kind of looks like it's putting in a topping pattern to me. So this could continue to kind of grind around, maybe make a new high. That's very possible, but definitely looks like it's putting in a topping pattern. I don't see enough to go right on this chart to really take a position, but if we put in a new divergent high, we start to set up some sort of a trend to watch. I think we could have a short trade on our hands. The divergence tell me that you'd want to lean short here as long as that divergence is in play. But I don't have anything to really pivot off of. I mean, maybe you can kind of mark out some sort of a trend line like that and it's been broken, but not enough for me. So just want to point it out though. Coffee. So this is Joe. Again, I like this as a long trade to buy. A little lower though. I'd like a spike down. So here's what I've got. I've got some support right about 49.54 right in here. Support. You can see several reactions there, and then once we got above, a nice big green spike candle helps confirm that trend line, and it was impulsive, and then it was support all through here. So I think if we can come down, maybe back test that 49.55 somewhere right in there, maybe it undercuts it briefly, but I think it'll get bought up. All right, so close to the buy zone, a little more downside. I think there's still a little more to go. Potentially another 2 to 3% to the downside, and it looks like a buy. And then if you want to look at the futures, coffee futures, KC, very similar setup. Again, this was former resistance right there. Then it was support right through there, and you can see where we're at right now. So maybe this gaps down tomorrow. This might be a trade that shows up really soon. I think a little more downside, down to about 173.30 in coffee futures, and that's support. So whether you get down there and undercut and then recover, again, I think the buyers are down in this area right in here. So I like that. I like Joe Long, a little more downside, and it should be a long in my opinion. Guys, that's all I have. So if you're new and you haven't gone through this before, feel free to join up, subscribe. Again, if you haven't taken the stock market technical analysis course, join up, link in the description below on that. And then the private member group, I am in there. I'll be a little more frequent in there, but really at the end of the day, I'm trying to give you guys quality trade ideas. So I don't want to just be pumping stuff in there if I don't think it's a good setup. So again, private member group, I'm giving you additional trade ideas, additional setups directly in there. Link in the description of this video if you want either one of those products, priced affordable, available at your convenience. So I will leave it there, and I will catch you guys on the next video.